Hi everybody, and welcome back to our kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing jambalaya. Now jambalaya, I first tasted it when in the early 90s Emeril Lagasse came out with his Emeril Live show. And I decided I want to taste what those recipes taste like. And I fell in love with the Cajun cooking, especially jambalaya, because it was so versatile. Today I'm going to show you how to change it up if you need to. It's tough times right now with the virus going around, and you might not have certain things in your house, but you can substitute. It's really easy with this recipe because it's basically rice, vegetables, chicken, and smoked sausage, or ham, or canned ham, or whatever you have in your pantry. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you the ingredients we need to start out with. Now I've chopped half an onion, it was a big onion, and then half of a bell pepper. I like the red rather than the green, but you can use green, you can use poblano if you have it in your freezer. And then we need to cut the celery. Now I go into the inside, it looks wilty, but that's not going to hurt anything. I go into the middle of the celery, and I like with the leaves because that gives you a lot of flavor. You don't realize that. People threw it away, and then people started realizing that there's a lot of flavor in the leaves. Now this is called the Holy Trinity. I hope I'm saying that right, but it's the bell peppers, the onions, and the celery that's mainly used in Cajun Creole cooking. I fell in love with it. I make it all the time. I got it on the top of my head. I don't even have to look at a recipe. Easy weekday meal, a little bit of chopping, a little bit of cutting your meat, and then this is what I'm going to use as my vegetables. Now I like these little springy cutting boards because you can just pick it up and dump it right into whatever you want to dump it into. Okay, I've got 2 chicken breasts, and I could have done 3, but I only did 2. And Emeril always took his Creole seasoning, which I did not make up. I didn't have time, but I use his Tony Chachere or whatever you want to call it. But he put the seasoning over the chicken before he started. Now this might make me cough because I can't breathe this stuff in for some reason. It's weird. And now I've mixed the Creole seasoning in with the chicken, and the reason I cut it off is because it makes me cough. But I've already done it, so I'm just going to put it to the side. Next thing I have is 1 smoked sausage. You can use kielbasa, you can use ham, you can use hot dogs if you want, that's all you have. Now, jambalaya usually takes shrimp. We don't eat shrimp in this house, so I leave it out. If you want to put it in later, I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to cook it in the Instant Pot. Okay, I turned my Instant Pot to saute, and when it says hot, that's when I'm going to add my other ingredients. And I've already put 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of the pot. And olive oil is my go-to because I'm dairy-free. I can't use butter. So first of all, and this is a method that Emeril used to use, I'm going to do the sausage first. Now the reasoning behind that is I want the oils to come out of it and for it to crisp on the outsides a little bit. If you put all the meat in together, it just sits there and steams. Now remember, anything that I'm doing in here you can do on your stove. Pretend this is your pot on your stove. Just do it the same way. The only thing with the Instant Pot is at the end, when you do it for 8 minutes, and then it cooks itself. You don't have to stand over the stove, but don't be afraid to do it on your stove. I used to do it that way all the time. We're going to get this crisp up or a little bit crispy. And let the oils come out. I mean, why add more oil to cook your chicken if you already have the oil from the sausage? Starting to smell good in here already. Like I said, you can use, if you don't have sausage, smoked sausage I prefer. Kibasi's a little bit fatty for me. And then you have your andouilles, sausages, whatever you can find at the grocery store, which is really hard right now. Like I said, you can leave it out. Do whatever you have in the house. It's almost like a throw together meal. I like this wooden spoon because of the fact that I can scrape the things off the bottom of the Instant Pot, and also it doesn't clang on the sides like other spoons would. Now another thing I did is I had a whole red pepper, bell pepper, that I needed to use up in the refrigerator because it was on the verge of maybe going bad. Once you start seeing it wrinkle up, that means you need to use it right away. Well, I didn't need that much red bell pepper. So what I did is I put the rest of it in a poly bag and throw it in the freezer. Next time I need bell pepper, I just take some out. And yes, it will get a little freezer burn, depending on how much you use and how often you use it, but that won't hurt anything, believe me. So the next time I make a recipe that needs red onions, I will take some out of the freezer and use that. These poly bags are terrible. Maybe I'll put it in another one next time. Okay, we're getting fried up here a little bit. I see some brown. Just like if you're frying bacon. Now if you guys would like for me to show you how to chop vegetables, the onions, tomatoes, the garlic, please put a comment below and I'll do a video on how to use your knife to chop these vegetables, because some people just, if they're new to it, you're stuck in the house, you don't know how to cook, but if you have somebody telling you how to do things, then you can get through it. Okay, now this is not cooked all the way through, but it's already cooked. How do I say that? The sausage is already cooked. All I'm doing is browning it up a little bit. So I need to put it on a plate for the next, for the chicken. So I take a slotted spoon. Hope you all can hear me over all this noise. Okay, now we have a mixture of olive oil and oil from the smoked sausage, and I'm going to add my chicken. Now we need to cook this chicken just to where it's not pink on the outside, because it's going to continue cooking in the Instant Pot later on. I'm sorry for all the noise. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt over the chicken. I like to season the chicken as it's cooking because it just adds flavor when you're taking a bite of chicken. I can hold this here. It doesn't really get that hot. Keeps it from spinning around, which is annoying. Now, one thing about the Instant Pot is when you put it on saute, it has a thermostat in there. So you might start out with it really hot, and then all of a sudden it's not heating up as well as you want. But give it a chance, because it'll come back to saute again with the thermostat. See, the thermostat went down on it. You can't really hear it sizzling as much as it was. But I'm going to give it a few seconds or minutes and it'll come back up. I saw my first red robin the other day, which means spring is on its way. Even though we're supposed to be getting snow the tail end of this week. But hopefully it won't be that much snow. Okay. I've got the chicken to where most of it's white on the outside, and I'm going to also take it out of the pot right now. This is my method. This is the way I do it. Other people just throw everything in the pot, which is fine. But I like to give it a little bit more taste by doing the meats separately. Sorry about the noise of the clanking. I know when you're watching this, it gets on your nerves. Okay. Next I'm going to do the veggies. Now the veggies are going to give off some liquid, and so I keep an eye on it, because if I want to add some more olive oil, I will. But it looks like I have enough in here already. Okay, in here is 4 cloves of garlic. Now, you may not like this much, you may not like garlic at all, just leave it out. But we like garlic in this household. And as soon as these veggies get a little bit more soft, I'm going to add the garlic in. You don't want to put it in at first because it'll burn. Okay, I'm going to add my garlic now. And then it's going to smell really good in here. Now my cameraman is my husband, my sweet husband that we've been married this year in October, 49 years. Yeah, I put up with him all these years. But we're going to hopefully make it to 50 with this virus going around, and then we can celebrate our 50th. We knew each other in high school, and we married young. But it was worth the trip. Okay, they're not as soft as I would like them yet. I'm still going to keep cooking them for a few more minutes. Starting to get soft. Next thing I'm going to do is I got a teaspoon of thyme. Now thyme is the universal backbone of any Cajun cooking that I've ever made. I have a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 bay leaves, and a teaspoon of dill. Now the dill is my ingredient that I like to add. So I'm going to add that all and get it mixed in with the vegetables. Wow, it really smells good in here now. Now I got my Grey Poupon mustard here. I gotta get a spoon. This is just to boost the flavors of the meal. It's got vinegar in it, so that boosts the flavors that you're working on. And I really like adding it to everything. Maybe not cupcakes, but get that mixed in. Now I want to add my rice now. The reason behind that is I want to get it mixed in with the oil to separate the rice. Now this is just a cup of jasmine. You can use whatever rice you have on hand, not minute rice, because if you use minute rice it'll get all mushy. So I'm going to add my rice now and get it mixed in with the oil. I ran out of chicken broth. I thought I had some in my pantry, but I keep this Better Than Bouillon chicken base, 2 teaspoons. Well, 1 teaspoon per cup. So I made 2 cups of chicken broth, and it's gluten-free. Scraping the bottom of the pot because you don't want to get a burn notice. But after you add the broth, it's going to scrape off that much better. So now I'm going to add the chicken broth. And I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes, any brand that you have. Like I said, make it what you have on in your pantry. Okay, the tomatoes, it's still on saute. I like to let it heat up a little bit and make sure that I've scraped all the stuff off the bottom. Waste not, want not. Okay, then I'm going to add the sausages back in. I'm going to add the chicken back in with all the juices. Don't throw those juices away. Don't put this on a paper towel because you want those juices. Mix that in. Now the rice will absorb the moisture. I think I'll put a little bit more chicken broth in here. I had a little bit left over from in my refrigerator that I need to get rid of it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this, not much. Smells good. Okay, like I said, you can do this on your stove. Put your pot or big skillet, whatever you have, down to medium to where it's just simmering, and then you want to cook it 20 minutes because of the fact you want the rice to be cooked. So 20 minutes on the stove. I'm going to put my lid on my Instant Pot. Make sure it's on the seal position, and then I'm going to turn saute off by pushing the cancel button. Do the pressure cook or manual button, and we're going to do it for 8 minutes. Once you set that, I push down on the lid to make sure that steam's not going to be coming out all over the place. It's on, and it's going to take 10, 15, 20 minutes to pressurize, and then it'll beep again, and then it'll start to count down on your 8 minutes. And then when it comes off, I'll show you what to do. Okay, we're back. It's done cooking. We let it rest on the depressurize for 5 minutes. I'm waiting for the tin to drop to tell me that I can open the lid. Make sure when you release it, you use a spoon, fork, or whatever. And don't get burnt. Now this is the time that you want to add your shrimp, if you're going to be having shrimp. Now what they do is they take raw shrimp, because this is hot already, they just mix it in with the rice mixture and let it cook for about 5 minutes on the heat from the rice. You don't really have to cook it because shrimp cooks really fast and it'll turn pink and you'll know it's done. It's almost ready to drop now. There it goes. And take my lid off. Let it juices or the steam run off and then lay it down. Now I'm going to stir it, and then, like I say, this is when you put your shrimp in if you want shrimp. Now you're going to notice that I have a little bit of liquid in here because I added a little extra chicken broth. But that's okay because the rice will absorb that, and if you eat it for leftovers, it won't be liquidy like this anymore. Now I'm going to put it in a bowl here and show you what it tastes like. I need a spoon. I got the sausage, the chicken, peppers, onions, and celery. And if you notice, I didn't add any salt except for when I salted the chicken. So I'm going to let it cool down a little bit, and I'll be back to show you what it tastes like. Okay, I'm going to take a taste of this beautiful jambalaya. It's got a nice gravy to it, which is what I like. But like I say, it will absorb into your rice. So even though it looks wet right now, it'll go away. Hot. Just the right amount of seasonings. Right amount of salt. And I'm going to really enjoy this dinner. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And leave a comment if you have a question. Or if you need to leave me an email, it's mynanasapron, all one word, @gmail.com. Thank you. Bye.